What's up, everybody? It's your boy Melvin here for another classic review. How you doing? How you doing? Also, a happy Halloween. So yeah, since you guys enjoyed my review on the Proud Family, A Hero for Halloween, why not take a step back first to Nickelodeon on a certain Sponge from their very first Halloween special back in 1999. This is my thoughts on SpongeBob SquarePants, Scaredy Pants. First came out in October of 28th of 1999. And this was their very first Halloween special, and a very iconic one indeed. How so? Well, before we begin, did you subscribe and hit the bell? If so, are you that scared on Halloween? Well, SpongeBob was until he pulled off a scare so good that even the Flying Dutchman ran screaming away. So yeah, Scaredy Pants, which, I remember this one. Well, I've never seen the actual airing, just reruns or the VHS version. But damn, this was a good one, an iconic one for Halloween specials in the early days of Nickelodeon. So yeah, what's the point? Well, we get to see SpongeBob work on the Krusty Krab, which of course he's scared shitless. Of course, he's trying to finish his duty at the Krusty Krab when he's about to leave. Mr. Krabs offers him, if he's going to leave, how about tell him a ghost story? Which, of course, he literally sets up a campfire in the Krusty Krab, literally carrying a bonfire. Of course, he offers to tell the tale of the Flying Dutchman, a famous specter, which, of course, comes to the Bikini Bottom on Halloween to search for souls in his soul bag. And out of nowhere, Squidward dresses the Flying Dutchman. I have come for your pickles. Which, Mr. Krabs compares souls as pickles, and the way Squidward says, I have come for your pickles. And that scared SpongeBob strangely. He went straight up to the mass. And of course, Squidward sees him because he might be too scared to join at Mr. Krabs' annual Halloween party at the Krusty Krab. Of course, back in the pineapple, SpongeBob was carving a jack-o'-lantern, which, first of all, how the fuck did he get that jack-o'-lantern inside his house? Like, literally inside his house. He's actually carving from the inside out. And when he pops out the jack-o'-lantern, the damn face scared him shitless. He runs straight to the closet. Like, what the hell? You just carved it, and then when you look at it, you get scared shitless. Damn. Next one, of course, he needs some help. Being scary, of course, he opens the door. What do they appear? Trick-or-treaters. And these trick-or-treaters will appear more frequently in this episode. Of course, we got Patrick, who, let's just say, he wants to help SpongeBob by, hey, how about dressing the Flying Dutchman? Of course, they give him a sheet to put on. He tried to scare some kids, it didn't work. They're trying to figure out why it didn't work. It's because a ghost is round. SpongeBob is square. Of course, SpongeBob asks Patrick to make him round. Shame me down, make me round. Which, of course, that's what Patrick does. He's trying to trim SpongeBob into a round one. By the time we see SpongeBob, he's now a round ghost, wearing wooden clogs, which, of course, Patrick calls them these beauties. I don't recall flying. The second thought, of course, it'll make more sense. It's called Dutchman. Dutch wooden clogs. Anywho, besides that, we already see during the Halloween party, it's bustling, everybody's having a great time. Of course, SpongeBob Patrick plan put into action. Patrick cuts the lights off, and of course, Patrick lowers SpongeBob down and pretends to be the Flying Dutchman, which everybody's scared shitless. Literally, you see his scary face that SpongeBob's put in I'm the Flying Dutchman. Ooga booga booga booga. Give me your souls. And of course, out of nowhere, a jellyfish appears, rubs the tentacles together, and stings Patrick. And Patrick's like, huh? Which he forgot, he has SpongeBob tied, and of course, him squirming from a jellyfish sting caused havoc for him, and also SpongeBob getting whacked everywhere until the jig is up. When he's hanging upside down, they found out it's SpongeBob, and everybody laughing and making fun of him and call him Flying Dutchman Flying Dutchman! And out of nowhere, silence! And we see this grossly green mist, and it turns out it's the real Flying Dutchman, even, I think, which everybody starts to freak out. Even Mr. Krabs faints in the barrel of apples. Who dares to mock the Flying Dutchman? Which, fun fact, is also voiced by Tom Kenny, which that's pretty cool. Of course, Flying Dutchman calls out everybody who makes fun of him, dresses like him, which remember, Squidward quickly takes off his costume, knowing he's dressed like one. And of course, he sees SpongeBob saying, I have seen, this is the worst, most heinous costume of all. And SpongeBob's question, do you think I'm scary? Scary? Ha ha ha! He cuts the rope with his sword, and SpongeBob goes down. Of course, the Flying Dutchman gives SpongeBob a pep talk on what's scary. Of course, spiders are scary. I'm scary. You, my son, are not scary. Okay, can we get this over with? Of course. I forgot there's one scene where, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take your souls. Before all that, okay, first we're gonna take a stupid costume off. Right there at the moment, when he took that costume off, you see his face like, what the fuck? And he runs screaming out of the Krusty Krab. The moment we realize why Patrick shades SpongeBob so much, the only thing that's left is his eyes, his mouth, looks like a stem of a sponge, and his brain. And everybody runs screaming shitless, like literally screaming out of the Krusty Krab. Of course, Patrick and SpongeBob walk in and Patrick say, hey, maybe the guy's scared by that hair. Oh, that's not my hair, that's my brain. Oh. Don't worry, it'll grow back. The fact they get scared more of bodily organs, like a brain, than SpongeBob, that's actually pretty funny. And the fact he's scared of Flying Dutchman by showing his actual brain, that's pretty funny. I give crap. And plus, man, this is one of the good Halloween specials back in, and this is from 1999, so it marks an era when Halloween specials were its peak of classic. Man, I kind of wish we had more like this, but if you guys love SpongeBob, like old school SpongeBob, this is a good Halloween special for you. I recommend it. And before I go, tell me, what are you dressing for tonight on Halloween? Comment down below, because damn, the best comment will get a thumbs up from me. Well, I give everybody a thumbs up, so hey, let's have some fun tonight. But until then, I hope everybody had a great time this Halloween. Have a great night. Stay safe. Stay in groups. Check your candy. Well, we all know the rules, but hey, to everybody out there, have a scary, wonderful Halloween. Have a great night, everybody.